Smokeless chimney technology update, full system demo, July 2023, the best flames on the net. We tested the whole system out. I got sick right after I lit it, so the whole system just ran by itself. I used a very small batch of wood and I recorded the data. The system responded as it was programmed to do. It's pretty warm here in Washington. However, we get about a 50-degree morning temperature, so I got up at 5 a.m. to start this test. To define the system, it's an octa-ring, a bellows, and an operating receiver. This is 3 microcontrollers that communicate about 2 times per minute. The octa-ring measures smoke opacity and the color shift in the light received by the sensor. It sends this data to the bellows. If it's over 20%, the bellows reacts. It also speeds up the measurement if it's over 20%. The bellows controls the airflow going through the wood stove and up the chimney. It uses information such as the stove temperature and the information it receives from the octa-ring as to how much smoke the stove is putting out. That way it makes a decision and uses an algorithm that will reduce the smoke and keep the stove at an optimal operating temperature. It's a pretty good system. The receiver is a device that the human uses to look at how things are going. It has a little display on it, but you can also hook a USB cable up and read it with a terminal program. Many of us need a little graphic for context. Here, the octa-ring and the bellows exchange information. They both send information to the receiver, which can be relayed to a computer. If the octa-ring isn't present, the bellows communicates with the receiver. If the bellows isn't present, the octa-ring communicates its data to the receiver. It's a pretty good system because all you need is one of these systems. So the full test was a very small batch of wood. Early in the morning, I lit it off and then took a nap. We got to about 280 degrees Fahrenheit in almost an hour. Rate of rise is how well we're doing at putting the right amount of air in for the fire. We peak at about 12 degrees per minute, but we're pretty consistent at about a 6 degrees rise over the first 30 minutes. This is a very good control for a small batch of wood. This is the data recorded by the opacity meter and transmitted to the receiver and stored in the computer using a terminal program. You can see from about 14 minutes to 25 minutes, we were putting quite a bit of smoke out, or over 20%. Then we had a small blip around 40 minutes to 44 minutes. This is still within legal limits. Color shift is a concept that people haven't been informed of, but as the light beam, which is a very stable light, very stable color source, goes through the smoke, it shifts the light, and there's a lot of detail in this information. For example, when there's no opacity or no smoke apparently blocking the light, we still get a color shift. So there's a lot of detailed information in this. We still don't know what to do with that information. It could tell us how much moisture is in the wood. We could tell what type of wood is burning. We could tell if there's a more serious problem. So this is the telemetry data that comes off the bellows. You can see that it was over 200 degrees for a while, but this stove puts out heat anytime it gets over 100 degrees, especially in a 50-degree room that really doesn't need any heat. But you can see that we're transmitting data, and we can plot this data. It's really good. The system worked really well. Smokeless Chimney, www.smokelesschimney.com, Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube. Thanks for